Coming up in SVG-TV News and Sports this evening at 7, SVG secures $20 million OPEC fund loan for disaster risk management. Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Gaston Brown commits to tuition-free education at UWI IFC starting this September. Oil prices surge amid mixed signals on U.S.-Iran peace talks. And in sports, SVG's Lady Heat and CONCACAF Women's Football qualifiers with back-to-back wins. These are the stories coming up in SVG-TV News and Sports this evening at 7.
Good evening and welcome to SVG-TV's News and Sports for Monday, April 20th, 2026. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines has secured a U.S. $20 million loan from OPEC Fund for International Development to support the country's disaster risk management program. The initiative aims to strengthen national capacity for disaster preparedness, response, and mitigation, an essential priority for small island states on the front lines of climate change. In a statement, the OPEC Fund emphasized that the program will also promote the conservation and responsible management of natural resources, helping to safeguard the environmental assets that support both livelihoods and economic stability. Additionally, the project aligns with the government's National Economic and Social Development Plan, reinforcing long-term resilience and sustainable development goals. The loan agreement was signed on the sidelines of the World Bank IMF spring meetings by Prime Minister Dr. Godwin Friday and OPEC Fund presidents. Chairman of Invest SVG Kevin Hope is encouraging Vincentians abroad to move beyond traditional remittances and embrace structured investments to boost St. Vincent and the Grenadines' economy. Speaking during the Home is Where the Heart Is Diaspora tour in the United Kingdom, Hope noted that annual remittances to St. Vincent and the Grenadines total approximately 270 million EC dollars or $100 million US. He stressed that while remittances continue to support families, they should increasingly be leveraged to create jobs and build wealth by investing in key sectors such as tourism, agriculture, the blue economy, and the digital industries.
We recognize the significant impact of your contribution. With annual remittances estimated around 270 million Eastern Caribbean dollars or 100 million USD, and which, in having some discussions with my colleague Shanna, we'll say is the equivalent to 3 Holiday Inn hotels in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's the value of our annual remittances. So let's reimagine, as my earlier colleague spoke about, how we can move such simple transfers.
We do apologize for the poor audio on that insert. However, Hope added that combining financial contributions with skills and professional networks can also help to transform the economy. He said this approach aligns with the national efforts to convert brain drain into brain gain.
Our landscape offers limitless opportunities, from hospitality to light manufacturing, architectural services. The door is wide open. For example, take the blue economy. We sit amidst abundant water and untapped marine resources. At present, we are committed to rejuvenating our marinas and fishing industries to provide high-skilled jobs for our youth, for which our Prime Minister oftentimes say we have a natural advantage. So let's make use of those natural advantages. So whether it's a large-scale infrastructure or acting as an angel investor for promising small businesses, your contribution, your leadership, we welcome as part of the transition.
We do once more apologize for the poor audio on that insert as well. As the government prepares to table 2 bills in Parliament tomorrow, one of which includes an amendment to the Constitution as it relates to foreign power and the state, Opposition leader Dr. Ralph Gonsalves says the process of constitutional reform in St. Vincent and the Grenadines should not be rushed, warning that it requires careful and sustained attention. Speaking at a news conference today, Dr. Gonsalves said the matter is not a T20 game, emphasizing that it should be approached more like a long test series. He urged citizens to amplify their views on the proposed amendments through widespread social media engagement and other forums of public expression, while also expressing hope that the issues can be resolved in a timely manner.
The ULP government had a two-thirds majority for the first, from the 29th of March 2001 until December 2010, nearly 10 years. We never went to Parliament with any piece of self-serving legislation. Petitions have been brought here. We haven't troubled the law. In Dominica, in Antigua, in St. Kitts, in Jamaica, in Turks and Caicos, in Cayman, other places too. No government has been as brazen as this one to grab the power in this manner and to take it away from the judicial system.
The opposition leader further stressed that the proposed measures must be thoroughly examined and tested, highlighting the importance of implementing policies that can withstand scrutiny and effectively serve the people.
We got them picked. So despite all Friday's bravado about it's a frivolous application, it's a waste of the time, when his English lawyers and Ram Logan from Trinidad got down to brass tacks to say, listen to me, it looks as though these fellas had over the barrel, both on the facts and the law. So what you have to do, we will do our best in arguing, but buy yourself an insurance policy. Go to Parliament and change the law. But the brazenness and the very illegality of this particular constitutional provision would be put to the test.
Meanwhile, lawyer and social commentator Jomo Thomas says there is still time for the government to engage in further discussion on constitutional reform, particularly regarding the proposed amendments set to be tabled in Parliament tomorrow, Tuesday, April 21st. In an interview with SVG-TV News, Thomas said there are several ways the government can handle the matter, including referring it to a select committee for deeper review and consultation.
Not too late. I mean, the government, listening to the voice of the people, could make a decision. Look, we could send this to committee. We can do all kind of things with it. The fact that they plan to pass it on Tuesday, and then based on the conversation, they could decide not to pass it on Tuesday. They could decide to do the first reading on Tuesday and then send it to select committee. Give it broad coverage, print it in the newspapers, have people comment on it, and so on and so forth, in much the same way as I'm doing that now. But that may not be in keeping with the government's agenda, so we have to wait and see what happens on Tuesday.
Thomas believes that allowing time to hear from the public on how they feel about the proposed changes is the best approach.
The whole question of you're changing the constitution and you're bringing it to the parliament, people are knowing for the first time that it's being brought to the parliament. There's not enough, I think, notice and time for ventilation. It's the constitution we are talking about here. When we are going to tinker with the constitution, I think we should give more time to debate the democratic best practice, good governance, where it all should allow for that.
The veteran lawyer also expressed the view that while the courts do not make the law, they should be given the opportunity to be heard and for a decision to be made. He suggested that any necessary legislative changes should then follow in Parliament.
I believe that no hindrance at all should be put in the way of this matter being fully ventilated before Justice Tom, for Justice Tom to hear all of the views and opinions and arguments, crystallize those with the law as it currently obtains, and to render a decision. What some say is a contradiction in the Constitution of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And if the court rules and parliamentarians don't like how the court rules, and parliamentarians think that there's a way to advance, clear that up and advance our democracy, then they can go to Parliament and change and strengthen the law, make it more forward-looking.
The two bills under scrutiny, the Representation of the People Amendments Bill 2026 and the Constitution of St. Vincent and the Grenadines Amendments Bill 2026, are listed on the order paper for their first reading at tomorrow's sitting of Parliament. The bills are to be tabled by Minister of Legal Affairs and Justice, Prime Minister Dr. Godwin, Friday. 5 years after eruption, Richmond Vale Academy is still recovering from loss of impact. This and other stories when we come back with more local news. Stay with us.
Welcome to Sista.
Welcome to the upgraded C-Star Limited,
where we offer to almost all your household items.
They've expanded their range to sofas, dining and patio sets, beds and mattresses, wardrobes, kitchen cabinets, office furniture. That's just a few from the luxurious collection. Not forgetting their signature quality windows, doors, rails and bathroom enclosures. Journey on up to C-Star, where their friendly sales clerk is happy to assist. C-Star Limited, where quality meets style.
A funeral service should be one that you can be proud of, one that leaves lasting memories of your loved ones. And that's where you need the New Haven Funeral Home. We are proud of the quality and class we have brought to the industry. We are proud for having trained the very first certified embalmers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are proud of leading the way in terms of live streaming of funerals online so that your family members overseas could also be part of the celebration of life. We are constantly improving our services. We are driven by customer satisfaction, and we are proud of all that we do.
New Haven Funeral Home.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentians for years with their high prices. They came General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices, then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
Bowman's Pharmacy, why choose us? We have all the prescriptions and over-the-counter medications, personal care products, lowest price guaranteed. Located conveniently next to the Bank of SVG on Grenville Street. Opening hours Monday to Thursday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Email us bowmanpharmacy@yahoo.com. Call us today at 456-2235 or 593-3918. Bowman's Pharmacy, easy to find and ready to serve you.
Singer is your family store. We sell everything you need for your kitchen and more. Top brands and appliances, TVs, fridges, cookers. We make your life so easy. Just come in and see us. A wide range of furniture. Right here at Singer. Affordable beds and mattresses. Right here at Singer. Washing machines to make your laundry clean and fresh. Singer is a family store that gives you the best hire purchase deals. Right here at Singer. We'll outfit your home. Right here at Singer. The #1 family store. It's us with Singer.
Welcome back to the evening news. La Soufrière is not currently erupting. However, 5 years after the explosive 2021 eruption, Richmond Vale Academy, located closest to the volcano in North Leeward, was left covered in several inches of volcanic ash. Executive Director of the Academy, Trine Wendelbo, said the institution has since rebuilt stronger, although the cleanup process was lengthy and challenging due to the heavy ashfall.
It has taken like a year to clean up everything, and every time we think now we're on the other side, then there is some electrical that breaks down, but that burns down because there is ashes just everywhere. Over the last couple of years we have done a lot to restore back to what it was before, and then we have been lucky to get some additional funding to also keep improving the facilities up here. We have been able to renovate all our rooms, to renovate our bathrooms and so on. That was needed also before the eruption, so we have also gone through that.
According to Wendelbo, while buildings have been repaired and restored, some of the Academy's farms are taking longer than expected to recover.
We have our ecological farm. It was really thriving before, and we are still struggling to get that back on its feet. We have our chicken production back, we have our pig production back, we are getting the balances back in the soil for vegetable production and also fruit production. Yeah, I think we need all of us to think in our way, how we organize our life and so on, to be resilient both to, I hope not the volcano anytime soon, but we also have many other weather catastrophes coming. I think we can all remember Beryl in 2024.
La Soufrière erupted explosively on April 9, 2021. More than 30 eruptions followed, forcing approximately 22,000 people to evacuate their homes. In other news, the St. Vincent Electricity Services Limited VINLEC is advising customers of an increase in the fuel surcharge rates to be applied to electricity bills for April 2026. In a news release issued earlier today, the company said the new rate is 66.50 cents per kilowatt hour, up from 54.90 cents in the previous months. This represents an increase of 11.6% cents per kilowatt hour. VINLEC explained that the adjustment reflects higher fuel costs on the international market, coupled with reduced electricity generation from the renewable energy sources. The company also reminded customers that the cost of fuel used to generate electricity is determined by international market prices. According to VINLEC, these prices continue to be affected by ongoing conflict in the Middle East, which has contributed to higher fuel costs worldwide. The company noted that the fuel surcharge is a pass-through charge used to recover the cost of fuel required for electricity generation, and emphasized that it does not profit from this charge. The release added that VINLEC remains committed to providing a safe and reliable electricity supply. Customers are encouraged to continue practicing energy conservation measures where possible to help reduce the impact of increased fuel costs on their bills. Customers seeking further information are encouraged to contact the company's customer service department via telephone, Facebook, or by visiting its offices. 46-year-old Rosia John of Layu appeared before the Serious Offences Courts on Monday, where she faced cocaine and cannabis-related charges. John was arrested last week and charged that on April 14, 2026, at Layu, she had in her possession 210 grams of cannabis with intent to supply. She was also charged with possession of 270 grams of cocaine with intent to supply and possession of cocaine for the purpose of drug trafficking. Initially, the court heard that John pleaded guilty. However, she later pleaded not guilty to all three charges. The court was told that veteran lawyer K-Bacchus Batiste is representing John, but for the second consecutive appearance, she was absent. It was noted, however, that she had advised her client on how to plead. Prosecutor Reno Cato did not object to bail. However, Chief Magistrate Colin John informed the defendant that bail was not considered as she was already on remand in connection with a separate murder charge. John had been remanded into custody last Friday when she appeared before the Serious Offences Court on charges of murder and conspiracy to commit murder. She is jointly charged with 22-year-old Augustus Matthews, who was also remanded. The court heard that between April 10th and April 13th, 2026, John and Matthews allegedly agreed to a course of action which, if carried out, would have resulted in the commission of murder. They are also charged that with malice aforethought, they caused the death of Parents Matthews, a 19-year-old laborer of Layu, by shooting him about the body with a firearm. The body of 19-year-old was discovered with multiple gunshot wounds behind a school in Bookament on Sunday morning. Police believe he was killed on Saturday, April 11, 2026. Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Gaston Brown commits to tuition-free education at UWI-FIC starting this September. This from the region. On return, stay with us.
The Ever-Ready Funeral Home at French's is your friend in times of grief. With over 40 years' experience, they are prepared to take care of all your funeral arrangements. Embalming, lowering device service, grave mattresses, carpeting, vaults, tombs and wreaths. Arrangements for television obituaries. Cremation is available upon request. Ever-Ready Funeral Home offers the finest in caskets and coffins, local and imported. So, in your time of need, call Ever-Ready Funeral Home at any time. 456-1494, Ever-Ready Funeral Home, offering service above self.
I may not like you.
You may not agree with me.
We may not believe the same things.
But that does not mean I have to hate
or discriminate.
Spread love, not hate.
A message from Equal Rights, Access and Opportunities, SVG Inc.
World-famous astrologer and psychic reader, he is having vast knowledge of palm reading, spiritual healing and psychic reading. He will also solve problems like negative energy removal, bad luck removal, get your love back. He's also the specialist of health problems, business problems, love, marriage. Bring your personal and professional life back on the right track. For any issue in your life, Energy has the right astrology remedy. Call now.
Courts is giving you the chance to experience the Caribbean's premier music and arts event, the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival. Every Courts purchase of $2,999 or more from now to April 23rd gives you a chance to win an all-expenses-paid trip for two to enjoy the music, the flair, and to create unforgettable memories for you and your guests. Don't miss this opportunity. Shop today, only at Courts, bringing value home. Conditions apply.
Quality products, quality care, low prices, great customer service, all at Q-Care Pharmacy. Q-Care leads the way, providing all your pharmaceutical needs, a variety of personal care products, and so much more. Located on Halifax Street. Telephone number 451-2690. Q-Care Pharmacy, where the Q stands for quality.
Introducing 2 new Instacash games. Yes, 2 more chances to win more money instantly from the National Lotteries Authority. Get the new $2 game, Win It All, where you can win up to $2,500. And there's Stack or Cash for $3 with a top prize of $5,000. win it all, and stack or cash. New Instacash games loaded with lots of prizes. Available at all Lotto agents. Instacash, so easy to play, and you can win instantly.
Welcome back. In news now on the regional scene. Prime Minister Gaston Brown says Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party administration is committed to tuition-free education at the University of the West Indies by September 2026. This is presuming his party retains control of the government following the April 30th general elections. The Prime Minister made the announcement during Saturday's Brown and Brown show, calling it part of a new era of development for the country. Here's more in this report.
For many families, a university degree can feel just out of reach. But Prime Minister Gaston Brown is now promising to remove one of the biggest barriers: tuition. Speaking on Saturday's Brown and Brown show, he says from September, students here will be able to attend university tuition-free.
We'll be offering free university education from September of this year. An interesting thing about it is that from this September, you can even get a law degree. You can pursue law studies right here in Antigua. You don't have to travel abroad like in the past.
Yes.
And you'd have to have the student loans. Free right here in Antigua and Barbuda. That's what you call real progress.
The Prime Minister says the move builds on years of government support for UWI Five Islands campus. He argues this is not about a campaign giveaway, but about preparing young people for the future and giving the country a stronger edge. The Prime Minister says education is a central part of what his administration calls a renaissance for Antigua and Barbuda.
That's the news from the region. The international news feature is coming up next. Stay with us.
Across our Caribbean, we're going digital, working smarter and living safer online.
In Dominica, we don't fall for fake prices. We check before we click.
In Grenada, we verify before we share, keeping our hard-earned money safe from hackers.
In St. Lucia, we report cyberbullying, protecting our children and each other.
In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we report scams fast, protecting our neighbors and our communities.
Together, we're building a cyber-smart Caribbean, keeping our people and our data safe, standing up to scams and cybercrime. We stay connected, but always alert. This message is brought to you by the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project. Stay smart, stay safe. Think Card TP. Visit cardtpconnect.org.
Beautiful white and black sand beaches, lush mountains and valleys, rivers, hidden waterfalls, and multiple islands and islets. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are a friendly people, welcoming tourists from all over the world with exotic boutique and luxury hotels and a hospitable business environment. Let's make all tourists welcome at our international airport, on cruises, on yachts, on sailboats, on land and sea tours, at beach lines, at our restaurants, shops and bars, and at our national festivals. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Tourism is everyone's business. Live it, love it, embrace it.
Tourism is everyone's business. Yeah. Live it, love it, embrace it.
Since 2012, we have provided reliable, professional dialysis services in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are now proud to offer you new solutions for your health problems. Each new solution is being delivered to you with the same high degree of care and professionalism. We also use the best technology in the delivery of our services. So, does your doctor need a precise view of what's happening inside your body? Let us perform an ultrasound for you. Ladies, if it's your breasts, then choose our mammography service. For all issues related to men and women's health at any stage in your life, our team can perform the necessary investigations to put your mind at ease and recommend solutions for your problems. If it's to see within your chest or check for broken bones and fractures, then use our state-of-the-art U-Arm X-ray service. For you aging men and women, we can now check your bone density, which will reduce any complications that may arise with overall bone health, osteoporosis, or arthritis. Health Solutions will provide answers and results in a timely, accurate manner in the most comfortable environment, while you are taken care of by well-trained and experienced staff. Please call us today at 451-2836 or 434-3170, or visit us online at healthsolutionsSVG.com. You can also follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Health Solutions, where we are providing solutions in SVG with care.
Yes, the sun it hot like fire, but I still have to go try and get you when me have to do today. My friend them pan the economy, I link them and we gonna ride up. So go look around me, say I ride cool, say I play cool, say I stay cool, say I drink cool, say my friend them illustrate them with I call them drink it in them with I cool for life. I cool for life. I cool for life. I cool for life.
Welcome back. On the international scene, oil prices surged 5% on Monday as investors monitored escalating tensions between Iran and the United States, with a ceasefire set to expire on Wednesday. UK Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper warned in Japan that the start of Hamas' blockade is affecting global energy, economic and national security, emphasizing the urgent need to reopen the waterway. Here's more in this report.
With the US-Iran ceasefire set to expire on Wednesday, UK Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper was in Japan warning of the global instability brought on by the Strait of Hormuz blockade.
The closure of the Strait of Hormuz is having an impact on energy security, economic security and national security across the globe. And that's why it's so important for us to do everything possible to make sure the Strait of Hormuz can open again.
There were diplomatic efforts to shore up energy security cooperation elsewhere in Asia also. South Korea's Lee Jae-myung is in India for the first presidential visit in 8 years. In an interview with Indian media ahead of talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Lee stressed the need for joint efforts to stabilize global supply chains. A flare-up in tensions over the weekend has cast doubt over a speedy diplomatic resolution to the Iran war and pushed oil prices higher. Still, major indexes across Asia advanced on Monday, with Korean equities wiping out losses incurred since the start of the war. The focus is now on whether the US and Iran can resume talks to end the conflict and reopen the Strait of Hormuz to alleviate energy supply concerns. Analysts say the rise in Asian equities may signal investors have priced in the worst case of the impact from the crisis, and that if a deal materializes, oil prices could settle from current levels.
So I think what we'll see is more of an oil price that's probably in the 70s, maybe depending on what's happening geopolitically, it could pop up into the 80s. But I'm hoping the days of $100 oil are behind us at this point in time.
For now, Asian markets are holding cautiously, but with no clear path to a peace deal, any shift in the conflict could trigger more volatility across the region and add pressure to governments grappling with energy supply concerns. Patrick Falk, Al Jazeera, Singapore.
That's the news. Sports is just ahead, but before that, let's take a look at the local weather forecast.
The weather report sponsored by General Hardware.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentions for years with their high prices. They're paying General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices. Then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
for a look at the local weather forecast. Present conditions partly cloudy, winds northeast at 19 kilometers per hour. Temperature 26.5 degrees Celsius, relative humidity 77%. Barometric pressure 1012.2 millibars, 24-hour rainfall 5.0 millimeters. Today's maximum temperature 27.6 degrees Celsius. Today's minimum temperature 21.2 degrees Celsius. Sunset today at 6:18 p.m., sunrise tomorrow at 5:48 a.m. Forecast partly cloudy to cloudy with few showers. Synopsis: weak unstable conditions linger across the island.
The weather report was sponsored by General Hardware.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentions for years with their high prices. They came General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices. Then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
World-famous astrologer and psychic reader, he is having vast knowledge of palm reading, spiritual healing, and psychic reading. He will also solve problems like negative energy removal, bad luck removal, get your love back. He's also the specialist of health problems, business problems, love, marriage. Bring your personal and professional life back on the right track. For any issue in your life, Energy has the right astrology remedy. Call now.
Good evening and welcome to the Evening Sports. We hear that St. Vincent and the Grenadines women Lady Heat won back-to-back matches to round off their CONCACAF Women's Football Qualifiers, the third-round Group A campaign. They did so with a 1-0 win over neighbours St. Lucia at the Darren Sammy Stadium in Gros-Islet, St. Lucia on Saturday afternoon. Karisha Eton netted the winning goal for St. Vincent and the Grenadines women Lady Heat. Elsewhere, Bermuda defeated Grenada 5-3 in Bermuda. Jamaica eased to a 2-0 win over Guyana in Jamaica. Nicaragua hammered Dominica 14-0 in Nicaragua, and Mexico thrashed Puerto Rico 6-0, while Costa Rica sealed a 3-0 win over Guatemala. In cricket, St. Vincent and the Grenadines received 4 picks onto the Windward Islands Under-19 cricket team for the 2026 CWI Regional Under-19 Cricket Championship slated for later this year. The 4 are Elran Glasgow, Kevin Joseph, Zach Thomas, and Casado Henry. 2 other Vincentians in Alston Bob Jr. and Joanne Adams have been named among the reserves. St. Vincent and the Grenadines finished third in the Winlot Super 6 Under-19 50 over championships, was finished last Saturday in Dominica. Host Dominica retained the title. And finally, in basketball, Victor Wembanyama starred on his NBA playoff debut as San Antonio Spurs beat Portland Trail Blazers 111-98 last night. Frenchman Wembanyama one of 3 contenders for the most valuable player award, scored a game-high 35 points, including 21 in the first half, as the Spurs won Game 1 of the best-of-7 series. Elsewhere, defending champions Oklahoma City Thunder and Boston Celtics both made dominant starts to the postseason. The Thunder, the number 1 seeds in the Western Conference, thrashed Phoenix Suns 119-84, and the second-seeded Celtics beat Philadelphia 76ers 123-91. Meanwhile, Orlando Magic stunned Eastern Conference top seeds Detroit Pistons 112-101 to take a 1-0 lead in their 7-game series. That's how we end sports this evening. We'll be right back to wrap things up.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentions for years with their high prices. They came General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices. Then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
Introducing 2 new Instacash games. Yes, 2 more chances to win more money instantly from the National Lotteries Authority. Get the new $2 game, Win It All, where you can win up to $2,500. And there's Stack Cash for $3 with a top prize of $5,000. Win It All and Stack Cash. New Instacash games loaded with lots of prizes. Available at all Lotto agents. Instacash, so easy to play, and you can win instantly.
Welcome back. Now for a second look at the headlines. SVG secures US $20 million OPEC fund loan for disaster risk management. Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Gaston Brown commits to tuition-free education at UWI-IFIC starting this September. Oil prices surge amid mixed signals on US-Iran peace talks. And in sports, SVG's Lady Heat and CONCACAF Women's Football qualifiers with back-to-back wins. And for a recap of the local weather forecast, partly cloudy to cloudy with a few showers. On behalf of all of us here at SVG-TV, thanks for viewing. I'm Triska Campbell, inviting you to visit our Facebook page for a recap of the news as well as daily headlines. Also check out SVG-TV's News in 15 weekdays at 12:45 p.m. Again, thanks for viewing. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
SVG's Heart and Soul. Magic 103.7, 91.5. Today's music, yesterday's hits.
24 karat magic in the